for Greece on Saturday, and you know what that means. That's right, time to travel journal. But before that, I've got some decisions to make, because I can't bring the whole studio with me on the airplane. Though, maybe one day I could if y'all bought 100 million stickers for my shop so that I could afford the freight charges. Before I start making hard decisions like that, I need to stop by my local craft store so that I have even more to choose from. Before I get to packing, I want to look back at one of my previous travel journals to remember what I like about it and what I can learn from it. I do things a bit differently each time. Sometimes I take the journal with me and journal while I go. Other times, I save up the ephemera and I bring it home with me and I journal when I'm back. And then, other times still, I don't even journal at all. This is my travel journal from 2 weeks in Los Angeles. I brought it with me and I journaled as I traveled. What I like most about it is that because I brought it with me, I had limited decoration supplies with me. And so each page has the same decoration supplies used over and over again. I've got this green washi tape, these orange dots, and then this yellow-orange washi tape as well. And these are the things I use to decorate it every day, so it looks like it's part of a cohesive whole. I also, while I was there, bought this from LACMA, so I still have this washi tape and use that, but I didn't use it that much in the travel journal itself. What won't work for me this time around? Well, you see, this is back when I used to use the same notebook for everything, and this thing is a honker. I haven't weighed it, but I have to imagine it's probably at least 2 pounds, which is a lot when you're traveling. Doing everything in the same notebook has pros for sure, but it's also just not how I'm doing things these days. So I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm not going to lug this behemoth around with me to Greece. Instead, I'm going to use a dedicated traveler's notebook insert, and I'm going to put this back on the shelf of completed journals. I've had my traveler's notebook for a long time, back from the OG Midori days, back before they had become Traveler's Notebook here on the back. I haven't used it in a while, but I used to use it as my everyday go-to notebook. But I just sort of had the urge, Traveling, Traveler's Notebook. Call me conventional if you must. You'd be wrong, but you can say anything you want to people on the internet. Go on, give it a try. Of course, the best part of a traveler's notebook is configuring it. So I've got a few bits I might or might not take in here, and I'm going to decide right now, and you get to watch. Isn't that fun? So I need my insert, obviously. I didn't have a ton to choose from in this size, so I've got this dot grid Tomoe River insert. I think it's from Goulet Pens. It's very old. It's got to be at least 5 years old, but I pulled it from my shelf of blank notebooks. I've also got these binder clips that are already stuck on here. If I remember correctly from the Traveler's Notebook, it has some trouble staying open sometimes, and that annoys me, so I've got these in case I've got to bind it open, and they travel very nicely there on the back cover. But I've also got these other bits that I might want to bring with me. I've got this Galen leather Hobonichi Weeks cover / wallet insert. I've got this zipper pouch that I've had just as long as I've had the notebook. I definitely used to use this when I used the notebook all the time. And then I've also got this extra folder that I've never used that I might use this time. So let's see what I decide to do. Okay, I can't imagine I made you watch all that without speeding it up because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But this is what I've decided on. I'm going to have the two folders, the insert, and then the zipper pouch at the back. Really, I just want the folders so I can stuff ephemera in there as I go and then pull it out as I need it. I also like the idea of bringing this blank folder because then I can sort of decorate that as I go too. And then I'll have it as a memento of my time in Greece, and I'll be able to use it other times and add to it then. But I sort of like starting with that blank slate, and I'll get some stuff there to decorate it with. I probably don't need the zipper pouch, but I'm bringing it anyways just because I really love this part where you can stick stuff in and still see it. You can't do that inside the folders, even though they're handy for holding stuff. So this is where we're at. Although, also important when you're configuring your traveler's notebook is to make sure it's gonna, it carries nice, it holds nice. And I think this is pretty good. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. It's a little thin, but it was way too fat with the wallet insert. And I'll fatten it up with some ephemera. Plus, if I'm leaving the insert in while I journal in it, I've got the same amount of stuff on each side so that it can be relatively flat. It'll be easy to write in. So I'm happy with that. The insert has been inserted, and we're ready to go with that. And the lesson learned from looking at my Los Angeles travel journal was that I liked that I had all that same similar colored ephemera with me, and then I could sort of fill in the bits of the day around that, and it looked like a cohesive whole, all orange and green. And so I decided to do the same thing with Greece. I very randomly and quickly chose a blue and pink color scheme. I think, when I think of Greece, I think of blue, and then when I think of blue, what goes with that is pink. And so I hunted around the studio and I found some Greek ephemera that I colored in pink and blue so it would all sort of hang together into a cohesive whole. What else do I have in here? Oh yeah. I also have these stickers, which aren't really Greek, but I had printed some for an order and I had one left over. And I thought they sort of went with the color scheme and I don't know, maybe these are like Greek goddesses floating in the clouds. So I'm bringing those as well. And then I have some washi strip type things that I printed as well. These I haven't cut in the silhouette, but these are all pre-cut and ready to go in the silhouette, the different decoration circles, but then I also did dates for each day. I don't usually plan or prep this much ahead of time, so this is a little bit different for me. But I decided to try it and see if I like it. The other thing I want to do before I pack is swatch some of my art supplies and see which ones I want to bring with me. At the beginning of the video, you saw my quick trip into the craft store to buy some additional supplies that I don't need, but that I definitely do need because I want them. And because I knew I'd want to bring some Tombow brush pens, and I know I didn't love the color selection that I had, I wanted to go in and buy some more of those, which I did. But then it turns out they were on sale, but you could only get the sale price if you bought a certain number. And so then I kept buying them, and well, here we are. These are the supplies I'm going to test to see if I want to bring them with me to Greece. So I'm going to test and swatch all these little suckers in my doodle journal, because that's where I do all the random junk that isn't necessarily meant to be pretty, but is meant to be functional. So I'm trying to get these out of the way so I can actually get my doodle journal in here. And there it is. I'll show you in more detail what I do in this journal some other time. If you're lucky and if you subscribe to my channel, do it. Click subscribe. You know you want to. Anyway, swatching. So I'm not going to actually show this part because I'm sure it will be very boring. So either I'm going to speed it up or I'll do some magic thing where I lay down my supplies like this. And then I'm like, oh, abracadabra. So this is what I came up with. And then I did the title here in the supplies that I picked. So I'm happy with these choices and I'm ready to pack them up. Goodbye, doodle journal. I decided to pack in my Delphonics pouch. I've had it for a long time, and as you can see by the tag here, I've never used it. So this is its maiden voyage. It's first time out of my house and onto an airplane and to Greece. Just like me, my first time in Greece, me and the Delphonics pouch are just the like. In addition to this stuff, I'm also bringing my novel notebook because I know I'll have a lot of downtime sitting in the sun drinking coffee, and what better time is there to novel than that? So I'm going to get this all packed up, and I'm sure I'll speed it up so you don't have to listen to me talk about each pen I'm putting in. Okay, I like that. And the notebook fits inside too. I know I have all these pockets on the outside, but since this is going to go into my luggage, I'm afraid stuff would fall out if I put it in there now. But I think it's going to be helpful if I'm sitting at a cafe table somewhere and I have this out on the table. I'll be able to put the supplies I'm using in there so I can get easy access to them. And until then, they're all safe inside. So I like how this is going. Obviously, my novel notebook can't fit in there, but that's just the life of a novelist, you know? It's very hard on us. The last thing before I'm ready to go, whenever I start a new notebook, I like to sort of slap something on at random so that I don't start with a blank canvas when I'm ready to go. Once I've put something on it, I'm committed to using it, even if it's something that I cover up later. And I gotta tell you, this color of this cover is harshing my vibe right out of the gate. Like I said, I didn't have a lot to choose from, so this was my best option, but I'm gonna fix that so that I like it a little bit more before I stick it in my bag and get on the airplane. Nothing fancy, just a quick little, Zhuzh. Is that a word? I think it is. I think I'm going to put some of this on the cover, and I'll speed that up so you don't have to watch my great cutting skills. Just like that, it's not a blank canvas anymore. So that's it. I'm all packed and ready to go. Well, at least journal-wise. If I walked out the door right now, I could journal, but I'd be naked most of the time in Greece. Which, if I understand correctly, is actually very common, or it was back during the historical Olympics. Maybe it's frowned upon these days. I guess we're going to find out. I've got my priorities. I'll show you how all this fills up once this little darling is back stateside. Addio, addio, addio. I'm so good at Greek.